Hello, this is François from Call.ai. Today I'm going to show you guys the three-step process from Call.ai in order to upload your leads, set up your agent, fire up your campaign, and just get the results from all of your outreach using AI in one go. So, with that being said, let's dive straight into it. The first step of the Cal process is to upload a list of contacts that you will want your AI to dial during your calls. Um, so how that works is that if you have, let's say, an Excel spreadsheet where you have a bunch of contacts stored, you're just going to go ahead and upload it over here. So we're going to start by giving a name to our contact group within the Cal portal. I'm, for example, going to call it Cold Outbound Campaign. That's my first campaign. All right, I'm going to give it that name. After that, I also have the option to define a custom field. So by definition, RAI is going to require that your spreadsheet has the phone number field and can also have the name field. But additional fields, for example, let's say you have a list that has the address field specified. You have a colon with address, or for example, you have a colon with LinkedIn profile or email, and you want RAI to be able to handle this particular situation. Then yeah, that's the perfect situation. You can just upload a list with that already set, and that will allow actually our AI to personalize the conversation specifically based on the information you've included there in that list. So this is really, really awesome. So now I'm just going to go ahead and upload my Excel spreadsheet. Now at this stage, you're basically going to see that, yeah, basically all of the data got pulled here. You can select your header row. And once that's done, it's just going to ask me to match up my colon to what it is. For example, right, this is the name, this is the phone, this is the email. I also mentioned I wanted to define an address. So this is the address, a colon. I can actually match them and change them in case RAI did a mistake when automatically detecting which colon matched who. But for now, it sounds good. Once I'm happy with the results, I can move to the fourth step over here, or I can pretty much review all of the kind of fields and kind of fix them and see which fields have issues. So in case a fields contain an issue, it's going to be marked with an error. I mean, if these fields are kind of a problem, right? Because phone numbers must be unique. For example, if there's two different records of the same phone number, that's kind of an issue because it's a duplicate contact. I can just go ahead and let's say remove part of those duplicate contacts essentially manually through here. And I still have a couple more duplicates which I'm just going to remove. This is a natural thing that can happen when having leads lists. So I just got rid of all of my duplicates, and now if I remove them, well, I'll just see properly constituted all of the roles over here. And now that this is done, if I actually look over here, I can actually find my list over here. And now that I've set up my list, basically, what I'm gonna want to do is that I'm gonna want to basically use that list and call all of the people in that particular list. So by the way, as you can see here is this extra field, right, that you can check here that the address, you can always make sure that all of the fields got uploaded properly. You're going to want to go create an agent and actually use those fields for that agent. So how that works is that you're going to create an agent, let's say for example outbound sales, and I'm going to call it, let's say outbound agent sales, let's say. So the best thing is to use our AI to help you to generate the script to be used by your own agent. So you can start off with a couple standard templates. So for example, let's say I want to start with this template to kind of bridge the needs and the goals of your prospect. If I like this template, so if I like it, I can just go ahead and hit next. And pretty much once I'm in there, what I can actually do is that so I'm gonna, let's say the objective of my call is, for example, let's say I'm cold calling people in real estate, for example, and I want to inquire if they want to buy a property in that area. So I'm going to say to inquire whether people would like to buy property, real estate in an area, let's say. And so it's okay. So I'm looking to reach out potential buyers. So I'm actually trying to find new leads for my real estate business, let's say. Okay, and so it's going to ask me a couple of questions. So let's say I'm targeting mostly California. And all right. So the unique selling points of the property in California. This one. Okay, so typically, I mean, villas are nice, particularly um, those that have gardens are nice. And I'm targeting, um, let's say, houses above $500K, for example. Let's say, pretty luxurious business. Um, okay, so my target audience. So my target audience are people around the age of, let's say, 30 to 60 years old, for example. Do you have any special promotions or incentives that can help facilitate kind of the purchase and the sale? So no, actually. So it really helps you basically throughout the whole process to kind of guide you through what's the optimal way to kind of set up your script and even can potentially give you ideas on how you can improve your offerings to come up with a better deal. So now it's come up with a template for the conversation that I can then just directly go and use. So now you will have mentioned that there's some default kind of properties that are used, like for example the prospect name that you saw when I uploaded it. It was a prospect name field. But what I can also do is that I can kind of add some information somewhere if I'd like to, and I would say, and I notice you have you currently um, live at address. For example, let's hypothetically assume it's not an ideal cold calling script, and it's probably not the right place to position that. But let's just assume I want to put this over here. And let's just configure my agents. So I want to, for example, let's say I want to transfer a call. So transfer a call is basically when, for example, if the AI does know how to handle an objection, or if, for example, the prospect is really, really interested, you want to transfer him live to your own phone number. You can actually type in your own phone number over here to have the AI transfer the call. For example, transfer the call if the prospect is super interested. And I can also type in a phone number over here. And yeah, the greeting is going to be the first sentence of the AI, and you can also harness the power of all of the variables over here. So I can write something like "Hi, prospect name." So this is just a typical greeting, but feel free to come up with more sophisticated things. And once you've played with that and you're happy with it, what you can actually start doing is you can actually start testing your agent, and this is really when you can actually have literally your agent, your AI, call your own phone number so that you can play with it live. So we've got a bunch of demos how you can do that. So I'm not going to do that again in this particular demo, but FYI, when you're playing around with your agents, you can also customize those variables to actually see kind of how your AI would specifically react to having this variable set up or this variable set up, and kind of package all of that and see how the AI would react to this. It's a really powerful concept. But effectively, what happens is eventually you're going to come to the third step of the account process after playing with your agent and interacting with your agent. Well, you obviously want to do a campaign, and this is kind of where you're going to combine your kind of agent together with your kind of contact list, and kind of basically merge those two to use both of those and run a campaign and have that agent call all of the prospects. And so how that's going to work out is that you're going to want to give a name to your campaign. So let's just call this an initial outbound campaign, for example, real estate in California. And you also have the option to use your own phone numbers for the campaign. And you've actually got a dedicated tab for that. So this can help a lot if you want to kind of separate your own phone numbers from phone numbers that other people use. Because if you don't select your own phone numbers, you're pretty much going to use phone numbers from a pool of phone numbers that everyone else uses, and so maybe that's not the best thing to do. So if you want to use your own phone numbers, that's really kind of the dedicated place to do that. And effectively, once you've done that, and once you're kind of ready, you can just literally go there, select an agent. For example, where was my agent? So I forgot now the name of our agent. Was it the outbound caller? I'm completely confused. I think it was the outbound agent sales, right? And I can also select a list, which I believe now was this one, the outbound campaign number 1. And basically, yeah, at this point, it's going to estimate how much the campaign might cost Please keep in mind this is a very, very conservative estimate because we don't know how long calls can go before the call actually proceeds. So we really want to make sure you have a sufficient balance so that, if all of the calls take the max amount of time, your campaign doesn't stop because you don't have enough of funds. So we kind of always go with a very safe estimate. But basically, yeah, once you've got all of those kind of funds set up on your account and you're ready to proceed, well, you can just hit the launch button. And this is effectively where it's going to start a campaign, dial all of your prospects. And so I'm not going to do it right now because obviously the campaign is going to take some time to run and see the results. But what I can show you is kind of what are the kind of results you'd get from running a campaign. So for example, this is an example of a campaign I believe that was run a while ago. Here you can actually see. There's actually a pending campaign. So this is a new campaign that actually we're running. But let me get an existing campaign. So for example, this campaign over here. So you kind of get a really nice kind of separation over kind of how many pending calls we got, how many voicemail calls we got, how many unanswered, how many IVR, and how many got picked up. So this is really, really helpful in kind of diagnosing and separating all the calls by state to see kind of what's the status of your campaign. For example, here I can see that the campaign probably just started because I have a lot of calls that are still kind of pending, and that a lot of them are still scheduled, which means they're not yet kind of set up, and the calls still have to be made. And the nice thing is that now if I go in the call log, I can actually really play back the calls. Okay, these are pending calls, so there's nothing to play back because the call hasn't been made yet. But what I can do is I can actually filter them by result. So for example, this is an IVR call over here. This was an actual call done, but it happened to hit an IVR, which our system detected. And for example, you can play that recording.
Yeah,
and you can actually hear what happened.
Please leave your name, your number,
And so yeah, this is a very helpful interface. And what you can also do is that you can also even filter by result. So for example, if I just want to find picked up calls that were picked up by real people, I can also do that over here. And effectively, then for example, if I want to pick up a call, I can also click on it and kind of see what's happening, and basically just get a really good in-depth analysis of how the call went and what happened. A really, really powerful concept is that we have another video, by the way, on this. Is that if you want the AI to directly book appointments into your calendar, you can directly connect called with thousands and thousands and thousands of calendars. We've got another video or tutorial on how to do that. And this is really, really powerful because rather than having to review the calls individually and kind of understanding what's going on or just post-process them yourself, even though this is already a very, very powerful tool that allows you to do actually all of those calls and to go to the interest, really the appointment booking integration is what brings all of this to the next level because it's really allows you to kind of automate everything much, much faster and just wait and see all of the appointments booked in your calendar. So yeah, with that said, if you've got any questions or want, any help or whatever about what I just said, please feel free to shoot up an email to support@cool.ai or go ahead on our Discord server. I'm looking forward to seeing you called, and yeah, goodbye.